Hey y'all, my name is Kirsti and welcome back to my channel, or welcome here if this is your first time. I'm so glad that you decided to stop by and watch today's video. Now y'all, with the prices of groceries lately, I am trying really hard to make as many meals here at home where I already have all the ingredients in my pantry or in my refrigerator. So this week I'm sharing with you two really yummy recipes that I bet you already have all of the ingredients in your pantry. The first recipe we are making is a buffalo chicken pizza with a homemade pizza dough. So if you're not a big fan of buffalo chicken, it is totally okay. You can put any kind of toppings that you want on this pizza dough. So let's go ahead and get started. I diced up my chicken, and so I'll cook it here in this skillet. Now, you don't have to cook yours like this. If you like shredded chicken, I think that would be just fine. But me and my husband are not the biggest fan of like the taste of a boiled shredded chicken. So I just go ahead and cook my chicken this way. And then I'm also going to go ahead and season this with some ranch seasoning. Just measure that until you're happy. Now just give it kind of a quick little toss here, and we're just going to cook this chicken until it's all the way done. While we let that chicken cook on the stove, I'm going to go ahead and get started on our pizza dough. This is the pizza dough recipe I'm going off of. I'll go ahead and let y'all screenshot it here if you want to. But this comes from Tyler's family, and I'm actually going to half this recipe. The last time I made this dinner, the crust was pretty thick for us, and so I'm going to half it this time so we can get a thinner crust. But the ingredients say to add in all of your dry ingredients. So we're going to add in our flour, going to add in our sugar. Well, I'm actually using a sweetener, but you can add sugar if you want to. Going to add in a little bit of salt. Just going to kind of eyeball that. And then I'm going to use just one package of this rapid rise yeast. And honestly, another reason I'm halving the recipe is because I realized I only had one package of rapid yeast in the cabinet. I'm just going to take a fork and give this a stir and make sure that gets all well incorporated. And then once I get that stirred in, we'll add in our water, and it just says to mix vigorously with your fork. So that's what we're going to do. I think that's pretty well done. So now I'll just take my water and pour that in. And then I'm just going to keep mixing this until it starts forming that dough ball. I prefer to roll out my pizza dough already here on my pizza pan. So I have a piece of parchment paper down. I'm going to take a little bit of flour and just kind of sprinkle it all around, just like you would if you were rolling it out on your countertops. Sorry if that was loud. And then I'll take our dough and just plop it right down. And now y'all remember, mine's going to be thinner, so I'm going to roll mine out pretty thin, trying to get out as much dough as possible because it's kind of sticking to the sides. Alright, I think that will be just fine here. I'm going to take a little bit more flour and sprinkle it on top. We just want enough flour so it's not too sticky. Don't really want it sticky at all. This is I've actually flattened this out by hand before. And you know, I might go ahead and just do that instead of using my rolling pin. Let's try it. And y'all, this pizza dough, if you don't have a homemade pizza dough recipe, I really recommend this one. It's so good. Really tasty. I think that little bit of sugar just kind of helps it. Has a little bit of a sweetness to it, not too sweet. Okay, I am going to go ahead and use my rolling pin because I want it to be spread out pretty thin. Got it stuck. Y'all let me know down in the comments if y'all prefer a thick crust or a thin crust pizza. Now that we have rolled out our pizza dough to our desired thickness, I'm going to take some of this Sweet Baby Ray's buffalo wing sauce, and I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it or drizzle it along the crust. And then I'm just going to take my brush here, and we're going to brush it all the way around. After spreading out your buffalo sauce, I like to take some cheddar cheese and just kind of sprinkle on the bottom. And then of course we'll add cheese on top too, but I like to have kind of that double layer of cheese. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but if you like a lot of cheese, you'll love it. Alright, so I think that's good. Now let's go check on that chicken. Our chicken is completely cooked through, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off. And then just in this pan with the chicken, I'm going to add in some buffalo sauce, that same Sweet Baby Ray's buffalo sauce. I don't ever measure the amount of buffalo sauce. I just kind of eyeball it. So we're going to get this well coated, and then we will just add this right on top of the cheese that we already have on the pizza crust. Then add some more cheese right on top. Y'all, this is gonna be so good. I have made this a few times and we love it so much. Now, I did share a recipe on here about making some buffalo chicken pizza rolls, and this dough recipe is the dough that I used to make those pizza rolls, and y'all, those were so good. They were so good. I'll leave that video linked down in my description box if y'all want to see that video. It was so good. Alright, but I think that's enough cheese for me. I'm going to place this in a 475 degree oven. Now normally when I make a full recipe of this dough, I cook it for about 15 to 20 minutes. Since we have to that recipe, I'm going to start checking it at about 7 minutes. And there we have it, y'all, our buffalo chicken pizza. I like to top mine with a little bit of ranch dressing. Like I've said, we have had this meal a few times and we absolutely love it. So y'all let me know down in the comments if y'all give it a try. Alright y'all, we are getting ready to make our second pantry meal this week. We're having a smoked sausage and rice skillet. We can make this all in one skillet, so I'm pretty excited for that. Now we do have a little bit of prep work. We need to like cut up the sausage and we have some veggies to chop up. So let's go ahead and get started. This recipe does call for some brown rice that's already cooked. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cook mine in my Instant Pot. I want to start by prepping the bell pepper and onion. And the reason I want to do that first is because I want to give the onion and bell pepper some time to saute in the skillet before we add in the smoked sausage. And that is mainly because the smoked sausage is already fully cooked. We're just pretty much giving it enough time to warm up and brown a little bit. So let's go ahead and get these chopped up first. I added a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of this pan. So let's go ahead and add in our bell pepper and our onion. And we're just gonna let that saute for a few minutes, let it have a little bit of time to get soft. While we give that time to cook, we can go ahead and slice up our smoked sausage. It's been about 10 minutes since we put these peppers and onions in here. So let's go ahead now and add in our sausage. I did do 2 sausages, and that's mainly just because we want to have more protein, and plus we like to have lots of leftovers for lunches. So you just do what's best for your family and what y'all like the most. But we're gonna let this sit here for probably another 10 or so minutes. We just want this, this sausage is fully cooked. So we're mainly just wanting it to warm up and kind of brown some of them. Let's go ahead and add in some broccoli. And for seasonings, I'm going to use some of this garlic pepper seasoning and some onion powder. I gave my broccoli some time to warm up, mainly because I used a bag of frozen broccoli. But I gave that some time, and it looks like the broccoli is pretty warmed all the way through. So now we can add in some rice. And the recipe calls to add in some cheddar cheese, which I think that would be really good in this. I think that flavor would be great. But in our refrigerator, we have some of this white queso. And so we talked about it, and we are going to use that instead of the cheddar cheese. And there we go, y'all. That was super simple. As you can see, it was mainly a one-pot meal, except for me cooking my rice in a separate pan. So let's go ahead and give this a try. It smells really good. I want to make sure to get a piece of sausage and some broccoli. And there we go. That is really, really good. Do you like it? Tyler shook his head. Yes, he likes it. Now, of course, mine might taste a little bit different than yours will, since I use that different cheese. But that white queso actually makes this really, really good. So if you're gonna go get the ingredients for this recipe, I recommend going ahead and getting that white queso. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me in the kitchen this week. If you enjoyed these pantry recipes, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below on some of your favorite pantry meals that you've come up with, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.